Good afternoon. It's time to have a story with Nana. And I have another one of my new books, and this one is called Practicing for Heaven. And it's the parable of the piano lessons. How many of you have taken piano lessons? Now, I have 4 children, and all 4 of them have taken piano lessons in their lifetime. I took a few as a teenager, but we never really had a piano in our home, and I went and practiced the piano at a friend's home, and she would teach me, and then I would come to her house and practice because I really wanted to learn how. And I really didn't learn how to practice or play the piano very well. But out of my 4 children, I have 2 that play very well. In fact, one plays the organ also, and because he learned that when he returned from his mission and was dealing with cancer. And then my other son has played for church also. They took a lot of lessons, over 5 years of lessons, and they have kept it up, and they play very well. And I'm really happy. That makes me happy. The other 2, they had lessons for a while, but they didn't stick with it. So let's find out about this parable of the practicing the piano lessons, or Practicing for Heaven, the parable of the piano lessons. And this is by one of my favorite authors that does a lot of nonfiction books. His name is Wilcox, and I'm not sure if this is his first children's book or not, but here it is. And I'm not sure, Wendee Wilcox Rosborough, maybe that's his daughter. I didn't do my homework to find out, but that's okay. So, Practicing for Heaven. Now this looks like one of my boys when they were practicing. David stared at the piano. His limp fingers rested on the keys, but they made no sound. Mom called from the kitchen. "I want to hear some practicing in there." Oh, I've said those words many times. Why do I have to practice? Anything would be better than this, David moaned. I heard that too. Even cleaning the bathroom, Mom said, smiling as she popped her head around the corner. Maybe, David mumbled, frowning. He wasn't very happy about practicing. Mom entered the room and put her arm around her son's shoulder. "I've already paid, Mrs. Lundell, and I don't want to see you waste this opportunity." "But it's hard," David complained. "I know," Mom said. "It was hard when I learned how to play too. But this is what you wanted, remember? You wanted to learn to play the piano like your friend Ethan." I had both of my boys who play now both beg, well, all my children did, but the 2 that continued, they begged the most, and they had to keep it up. David looked up at his mother and said, "But Mom, I'm just not very good. I keep hitting the wrong notes. It takes me forever to get it right. I don't know if I'll ever play like Ethan." Mom sighed. "Anyone who wants to play well has to practice. Just keep practicing, and I promise that you'll get better." "But I don't even care about getting better. There are lots of other people in the world who don't play the piano." "That's true," Mom said. "But this isn't just about playing the piano. It's a lot bigger than that." David looked at his mom puzzled. What was Mom saying? Mom motioned for him to scoot over on the bench so she could sit. During the next few years, there might be times when you want to give up on things that are much more important than the piano. You'll need strength to keep going. And that's when you'll need to turn to Him. Mom pointed to a picture of Jesus hanging on the wall. David still looked confused. What does practice in the piano have to do with Jesus? Mom chuckled and asked, "Who paid for your piano lessons?" "You did," David said. "And because I paid for your lessons, I can ask you to practice, right?" David nodded. Well, Jesus paid the ultimate price for our sins and mistakes, so He can ask something of us. He asks us to follow Him and keep His commandments, not to pay Him back, but to help us become more like Him. Now that's a thought. There's a mom. Sometimes being like Jesus is hard, David said. It is, Mom agreed, but what if I thought being a mom was too hard? What if I said, I've already made too many mistakes and might as well give up? Do you think I should quit being a mom? Do you want your mom to quit being your mom when things are hard and it's not the way she wants it to be? David looked surprised and said, "No, you can't quit." "You're right," Mom said. "I don't need to be perfect. I just have to keep trying." She looked up at the picture and continued, "And that's what Jesus might say when we feel discouraged. By following Christ, we aren't earning our way to heaven. We are learning to become the kind of people who want to live there someday." Look at the mom giving David a hug. "We're practicing for heaven," David realized. "Exactly," Mom said, and laughed as she gave her son a sideways squeeze. "And Christ will strengthen and help us no matter how long it takes. We can just practice." David glanced again at the picture above the piano and back at the music in front of him. With a look of determination, he took a deep breath, placed his fingers on the keys, and started playing. As Mom listened, she thought about how far he had come since he had first begun and smiled. David was learning a lot about piano and, more important, about life. So, when we want to do something, can we do it right away? Whether it's play the piano, or whether it's to play baseball and always hit the ball or always catch the ball, or when we play soccer, can we always make the goal and get it into the goal? We have to practice. We have to practice running with the ball and kicking the ball. We have to practice catching the ball for baseball and hitting that little ball. In golf, it's even a smaller ball. We have to really practice hitting that ball to get it where we want it to go. And playing an instrument, whether it be piano or the violin or the guitar, we have to practice. We can't just sit down and play the piano. And we can't just pick up a guitar or a violin and play it. We have to practice. And that's what life is all about. We have to practice. We can practice doing those things. We can practice being a good person and to love all those around us, no matter who they are and no matter what they do, that we can love them. And that's what Jesus wants us to do. He wants us to love everyone, no matter what, and to respect them and to serve them. So that's practicing for heaven. And that's the parable of playing the piano. And that's my story today for Nana's Story Time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you share it with your friends so that they will know that they need to practice too. And that's what life is all about. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Mwah.